already, and he sinks that one and looks at another to take the first frame here. If he takes the red ball down, that'll do it. He's up to 99 points. The target is 100 in this each of the best of 5 frames, and polite applause here, but I can tell you that there's no doubt that the Myanmar crowd will be very patriotic and will be very, very one-eyed. This is a very impressive fight back here by Ne Tui U as he picks it up to 1-1 now in frames, and here's another chance, this to take the lead at 2-1, and he does. Beautifully struck, picks up another couple of points there and takes it to 100, so he's 2-1 in the lead. Now Gilchrist really has got to, and he tried to pop there, but he's actually touched. And we'll get it. That's it. In fact, it's 2-all. He's leveled it up at 2-all. And the defending world champion, in fact, the World Billiards Championship in October, he was the winner. And this will now mean that he's defended his title on 3 occasions. And that's a very, very impressive performance. Gilchrist, the gold medal.
Yeah, he's beaten me a couple of times before, and he's very steady, you know, but I more or less threw it away. I should have been 2-0 up. He's gone 2-1 up, and he had a chance to beat me, but he just didn't take it, you know, and I was very fortunate. It's really tough because the 100 up format, you know, you miss one shot and they're capable of making a 100 break also. So whereas in my long game when I play, I try to just make a big break, kill the opponent off. But this time here, you know, I make a 100 break and then you start all over again. So you can't kill the opponent off. They're always back at you, and it's what makes it exciting. You know, I think the billiards this week's been fantastic to watch. I've loved every bit of it. You know, I've loved watching it and loved playing it as well. It's great, isn't it? Because the support's like, you know, there's like 300 or 400 people there, all rooting for the Myanmar players. But luckily we've got the ministers here and all the crowd from Q Sports Singapore. Doesn't get better than this. Great stuff.
Congratulations to Peter Gilchrist. He defends his title that was won 2 years ago in the Indonesian Games.
So the billiards and snooker team ends their campaign with 1 gold and 4 bronzes. On to sailing next, and with today the last day of sailing, it was time to count and confirm the medals.
So how many goals since we're into Christmas season? You know that song, 12 Days of Christmas?
Right, you mean the one that goes, 7 swans are swimming, 6 geese are laying, and
5 gold rings.
Singapore's contingent of sailors have beaten the medal haul of the team that took part in the 2011 edition of the Southeast Asian Games. After the final round of races today, Singapore has secured 5 gold, 2 silver and 5 bronze medals, for a total of 12, compared to the 8 medals they brought home from Indonesia 2 years ago. In the laser radial category, Elizabeth Yin secured gold with 22 points after 11 races. Edward Tan, taking part in the Optimist class for boys, also secured a gold medal for Singapore, finishing on 19 points. In the girls' Optimist class, Fathin Rasyiqin also secured gold with a total of 16 points after 10 races. Singapore's 4th gold was delivered by Kimberly Lin and Savannah Siew, who dominated the 420 girls double-handed dinghy class, finishing with 15 points. And finally, sisters Priscilla and Cecilia Low secured Singapore's 5th sailing gold in the 470 class for women. Ines Lim, racing in the RS1 girls event, took home silver, finishing 22 points behind Thailand's Duangkamon Pongan. Singapore's 2nd silver was won in the Optimist team race, with Thailand taking gold and Malaysia taking bronze. And speaking of bronzes, Singapore has 5 of them, courtesy of Scott Glenn Sydney in the laser, Wallace Gann in the RS1 for boys, Anthony Keong and Stanley Chan in the half rater, Jonathan Yeo and Tan Jen E in the 420 boys, and finally Darren Choi and Joel Pang in the 470 men's.
Awesome job by the sailing team, as usual.
Yeah.
And remember 2015, it's Singapore waters.
Exactly, which actually might, add to the pressure of it all. But these guys look like they can handle anything that's thrown their way.
Yeah, definitely they can. It's time for a break right now. Still to come though, diving, where twin brothers Mark and Timothy are in competition again, and a 20-year drought broken in traditional boat race.
Hey, welcome back to Today at the Games, live from Naypyidaw. Still to come on the show as well, highlights of the gold medal match in the women's team event in table tennis.
Plus judo, taekwondo and traditional boat race. But first, it's into the waters of the Unatikdi pool. After a silver yesterday that ended a 28-year drought, the men and women were inspired to clinch more medals today.
This is an interesting one, isn't it? Men's synchronized 3-meter springboard final. He was fourth in the individual 3-meter springboard, so he's out of a medal. But his brother Mark took the silver already, so it'd be great if Timothy could also take a silver home as well. I don't think anybody's going to catch this pair, though. Cecilia and Azman Ahmad. They've been very, very impressive. Their fifth dive was a little bit of a disaster, but we've got some twists in this one. 5-1, 5-4. It's a 3.4 degree of difficulty, and it's going to be a really tough dive to complete properly. Let's have a look at it. Yeah, they weren't quite synchronized, but it is a very, very difficult dive. 5-1-4B. Forward 2.5 somersault with with a twist, and there you can see sevens, yeah, satisfactory without being absolutely brilliant. Now, this is big one. Come on, Singapore, let's hear you. Let's hear you. Are you going to support these boys? 51-52B is the dive. And let's see whether or not they can execute here. Forward 2.5 somersaults, 1 twist. They've got to get it together. Not bad. Oh yes, I think they've nailed it. Good stuff. That certainly won't push them up into gold potential, but it could well hang on to the silver medal. And you know what the crowd is saying there. You can just see them. Top left picture. The Singapore crowd there, 7 5s are good, are in silver medal position. I think Jamjani and Putra were the only ones that could wrestle it from them. The Vietnamese boys have moved up to 4th overall, but this is their final dive, and again, lots of twists in this one. 51-52B. And oh, they're way out. No, they will not make an improvement on that 4th position. They could even lose a position with that. Forward 2.5 somersaults and a twist in there as well. But there you go, 5s and 6s, it's not going to be enough. They retain their 4th ranked position, the final position. So, well done Singapore. Malaysia have taken the gold medal in the men's 3-meter springboard synchronized.
I think we did really well considering, you know, it was really, really cold today, and yeah, like we don't, in Singapore we're not used to this kind of cold, so considering like performance in the competition, I'm quite pleased with the performance. It's really a very big competition to us because like for Singapore diving as well, like for the synchronized event, it just, oh, I'm just so excited. Yeah.
I mean, this is the first time that we've actually getting medals in for diving in SEA Games for a long time. Yeah. Well, I suppose being twins does help in a way that we are sort of the same. Connected. Yeah, but we do talk to each other about our synchro and stuff like that. Yeah.
Let's have a quick roundup then of the women's synchro 3-meter springboard final. We've got an entry here in Singapore, and you can see Fong Kei Yan, who just dipped out from the medals, and also her partner Myra Lee will be here with their 5th round dive, and will be hoping to get into the medals right here. Oh, they've got to get together, and that's much better. They finished well. Okay, a little bit over-rotated in the end by Fong Kei Yan, I think, but not a bad finish considering the start was a little bit uneasy. But ranked 3 position at the moment is the Indonesian pair of Eka Indah and Dwi Setya Singh, and I think if they can put a good dive together here, then they will certainly take the place of Singapore in silver position, and they could do that right here. The Indonesians start well, and that is a very, very solid dive. Great work there. And you have to say that that looked very, very good. Back 2.5 somersaults. Have a look at it. Great rotation. Maybe a little bit early with the left diver there, but I think they'll be quite happy with that. And in fact, they've come up to silver position all round. Singapore back in bronze medal position. But here are the stars of this particular activity. The women's 3-meter springboard synchronized swimming champions. And we are looking at Ung Yan Yi and Cheong Jun Hong as they go. And that's a very, very accomplished, very, very good dive. 405B. And that is an inward 2.5 somersaults. So we see it repeated. And they are the gold medal champions of the 3-meter springboard synchronized.
Fantastic job by the diving team, especially the twin brothers. You know, you have to go back to the 1985 games in Bangkok to find the last time Singapore won a medal in diving. And the hero, or heroine I should say, then was Lee Po Ling, who took home a bronze. So it's on to table tennis next, and yesterday the men's team gold medal match was shown live on Channel 5. Yeah, and the women's team gold medal match was played at the same time, so we couldn't bring you that as well. But we think you should have a look at their gold medal effort anyway. Exactly. For all Team Singapore and table tennis fans, a few highlights from the women's team gold medal matches.
The boys took the title by 3-0 against Thailand, and it's now the turn of the women. Could they also repeat and get the gold? Yu Mengyu, well, she was challenging throughout. 11-2 in the first, 11-6 in the second, and she's now got match point here with Natana in service at 4-10, and that's a good shot into the body of Yu Mengyu, so she picks up 5-10, but it's still 5 match points here for Yu Mengyu for the first tie of this final competition, Singapore versus Thailand. Singapore clear favourites, and they've taken that first one 11-5 in the third game, so 3-0 in favour of Yu Mengyu. We now move on to Lin Ye from Singapore against Tamalwan of Thailand. In the first 2 games, Tamalwan did well. She levelled it up. It was 11-5 and then 7-11. 11-7 in the third, so it was 2-1 to Lin Ye. And well, you can see the score there at the moment, 8-6 in favour of the Singapore girl. And it's the Thai serving, Tamalwan. She puts that serve in, and again a lovely backhand flick from Lin Ye. Picks up another point, so that is now 6-9. And well, this could be the final game. Couple of points required there. Lin Ye was in control. Oh dear, that's a terrible service. So big chance here, 10-6 in favour of Lin Ye. It's match points in this second match-up. And a very, very extravagant forehand topspin there takes it to 3-1 in favour of Singapore's Lin Ye. We move along now to the doubles. This is the final encounter. Lin Ye together with Zhou Yihan, and Tamalwan with Anisara for the Thais. The Thais serving, and it's wow, that's a really super extravagant shot from Lin Ye on the forehand side again. She's really explosive, and that takes up the 10-8 position. They lost the first 11-5, but then took 11-5, 11-6, and now with match point here, this for a 3-1, and gold medal point to Singapore. It's Zhou Yihan, and that is it. So well played, Singapore. A double gold day for you. The men have won it, and now the women have won it too. So 3-0 was the score. Lots of cheering from the Singapore fans.
I was generally pleased with my performance today because it was the finals. I felt the adrenaline rush. This is one of my better performances at the SEA Games. This competition is different as I have a greater responsibility of representing my country.
The singles competition started today, and Zhang Jian won all 3 of his matches to top Group B. Clarence Chiu also won all 3 of his matches to top Group C. And
in the women's competition, Yu Mengyu had no problems at all, not dropping a game in her 3 matches to top Group Y. Isabel Lee won all 3 to top Group W.
Now tomorrow the semi-finals of course will be held, and Yu Mengyu will take on Mi Trang Mai Huang of Vietnam, and Isabel Lee is up against Lee Bei Wei of Malaysia.
In the men's semi-finals, Zhang Jian takes on Richard Gonzalez of the Philippines, and Clarence Chiu's opponent will be Le Tian Dat of Vietnam.
Well, you know what? It's all the best to them, of course, but coming up in just a bit, we have some traditional boat racing, judo as well, and you don't know how it's going to be exciting, so you have to stay with us, okay?
Right, thanks for staying with us on Today at the Games. Still to come, it's Taekwondo and traditional boat race.
And of course, that race also made history, so stay with us for the news and highlights. First, it's over to the Zayatiri Indoor Stadium where Gary Chow was actually gunning for a medal.
Gary Chow goes into this semi-final game against Adesta from Indonesia, looking to go one better than the Southeast Asian Championships, where he got the bronze medal in 2012. Oh, that's brilliant. Right over the top. That is Wazari. Really strong start from Gary here. Looking to try and make the gold medal match. Well, as he's turned him enough. Yes, and he's held him down. The arm goes up, that's raised. That's an ippon. He will go straight through to the final. That's a good victory for the man that was dragged into the sport just to keep a friend company. He now finds himself representing Team Singapore in the final. Gary Chow will go up against Nalap Chai from Thailand. A lot of grappling going on the mat. Defensively there from Gary. Napachai just trying to sweep the legs and get the ippon. In fact, Gary tries to counter with an ippon of his own. Good balance though from the Thai, but he's turned him. That's going to be an ippon. That's going to be victory as well. It's the gold medal that goes to Thailand, but Gary Chow has gone one better and got a silver in this SEA Games.
Well, you know what? Congratulations to Gary, and tomorrow judokas Gabriel Young, Timothy Loh, Han Boon Ho as well will all be competing, so all the best to them.
Over to the Una Tekdi next, and this Taekwondo team looking for another medal.
Singapore had two representatives in the Taekwondo preliminaries this morning. In the men's 54 to 58 kg category, Jason Tan came up against Natawi Klompong from Thailand. Tan, who won bronze in the past two editions of the Games, faced an uphill battle after going behind by 7 points early on in the encounter. Despite his best efforts, Tan couldn't land any points and lost the match 15 to love.
At first was more of the height difference, and then I keep thinking that maybe he keep going for my head, and then that split second of thinking made me hesitate on my attack, my defense, and that might cause the head kicks and all. Actually very disappointing, and I thought I can do better actually, and I did my best, and I hope I can improve further actually.
In the 58 to 63 kilogram category, Raja Arshad faced Sonsat Polpong from Thailand. Southeast Asian Games debutant Arshad did well to level the tie at 2-all early in the match. But he struggled to deal with the Thai fighter's height advantage and eventually lost 11-2.
Right, on to traditional boat race now. I've had ants in my pants waiting for this. This was the last day of competition for the Singapore team and a final chance to get a medal.
You better get that checked out, I'm just saying. And Nalak Dam had been a happy hunting ground for canoeing and rowing, and it could turn out to be the same, of course, or could it, for the traditional boat race? We'll have to find out.
Last day of the traditional boat race competition, and Singapore had a chance to make good in the women's 5-crew 500-metre race. Myanmar were the favourites, having already won 11 golds. This time it was no different. The Myanmar crew in lane 3 pulled ahead right from the start. In lane 5, the Singapore girls strained to keep up with the Indonesians in lane 6, who were in second place. In the end, the Myanmar crew crossed the line first in 2 minutes 15.713 seconds, a comprehensive victory that delighted the home crowd. Indonesia came home in second place, and less than 3 seconds behind, the Singapore team had stroked their way to a bronze medal. They ended a 20-year wait for a medal and became the first women ever to win a medal for Singapore in traditional boat race.
Actually, this is the first medal that we actually won for the women's team after so many years. So it's this indescribable, awesome feeling that, yeah, it's something that I've never experienced, and it definitely feels great. It feels like all the hard work have been paid off. Most memorable is definitely this 5 crew, because in 2011 there wasn't this 5 crew competition. So I'm really glad that we actually can get a medal in this 5 crew, and it proves that we actually can do it.
Well done to the women's team, and you can see the dedication, the tan lines.
Yeah, exactly.
But 20 years, of course, since they won a medal, and they've done themselves and Singapore so proud. And you know, Mark,
yes, Debian,
when you look at the race, right, because the teams are usually so far away, it actually doesn't look like a whole lot of effort.
That's where you're completely deceived, because when they finish the race, you can usually see the rowers all keeled over, they're breathing heavily. You know, a lot of them sometimes have to be escorted out of their boats onto the podium sometimes as well. It's really, really tight. It's a sport that really requires a whole lot of stamina.
I'll tell you what, 2015 is coming around the corner, and I'm pretty sure that they're looking for every opportunity as well, and they're always looking for talent to join the Dragon Boat team.
Yeah, I'm sure you could have a shot at it.
No, not really.
I'm talking about escorting the people out of the boats.
Let's have a look at the medal tally, shall we?
Thailand, 90 goals, pulling way ahead of all the other nations. Myanmar clawing back to second place with 69. Vietnam not far behind with 66. Singapore now with 31 goals, courtesy of the sailing team and Peter Gilchrist, and 26 silvers, along with 40 bronze medals. Tomorrow, a chance for the Young Lions to add to that medal tally. It's their bronze medal match against Malaysia.
Hey, and that will come to you live at 5:25 p.m. on Channel 5 and on Toggle as well, okay? So join us tomorrow and for the match for our very last today at the Games, Mark. 11 p.m.
We'll bring you all the highlights, including the finals of the table tennis singles competition as well. Thank you for joining us. I'm Mark Richmond.
And I'm Divya Nair. Good night from Naypyidaw.
Bye-bye.